Using Chronology, reviewers can collaboratively curate the most important documents in a case. Each document entry in the Chronology can be dated, labeled, and annotated with a description. Chronology also allows review teams to see documents in relation to a timeline of events and allows you to document information about who is involved in your case. In the Chronology, document entries appear in the center section of the page. At the outset of the case, no documents appear in the Chronology. If you want to rename the Chronology, click on the name so that it's highlighted, input a new name, and press Enter. To the left of the Chronology page is the Label panel. 3 default label categories are provided: Events, Issues, and People. Event labels are specified with a date range, and the date range markers can subsequently be displayed using the Event view. The final section of the label panel displays all existing outlines associated with the case. To add a new category, or a label within a category, select the gear icon at the top of the label panel to switch to edit mode. Select the New Category button to create a new category, or the green plus button associated with the desired category to add a new label. Once you're finished creating and editing the labels, click the green check mark at the top of the panel. New categories will be added to the list of existing categories in alphabetical order. To delete a category or specific labels, select the gear icon, then click on the trash can associated with the category or label you wish to delete. When you're done, click on the green check mark. To add a new outline for the case, click the Outlines icon in the toolbar and select the Create New Outline placeholder. If there are no documents in the Chronology that have a given label applied, the label will be grayed out. If there are documents in the Chronology that have a given label applied, the label will no longer be grayed out in the panel, and a number will appear corresponding to the total number of documents within the Chronology that have the label applied. We recommend creating all relevant categories and labels at the outset of a case to avoid having to retroactively apply relevant newly created labels to documents within the Chronology. Now that we've set up the desired categories and labels, let's add documents to the Chronology. Documents can be batch added to the Chronology from any results table or individually added from the review window. To batch add documents to the Chronology, select the Batch option on any results table and select the appropriate Chronology label in the StoryBuilder section of the coding panel. Note that any other ratings or codes that you select to apply in the batch coding panel will be applied to the document, not as a label in the Chronology. Once you click Apply, a pop-up dialog will appear with a summary of the changes that will be enacted with the batch action. If you want to make the document date in the Chronology align with a metadata field value, select one from the list of date metadata fields. The respective value of that field will become the Chronology date field for each selected document. Note that if a document does not have a value for the selected metadata field, there will not be a corresponding value for the date field in the Chronology entry for that document. You can also add an individual document from the review window. Click a document to open the review window. Click on the StoryBuilder icon in the navigation bar. Select the Chronology from the drop-down list of options. Once you select the Chronology from the list, a menu will appear. You can choose to input a new name and add date, description, relevance, and label information. Choosing to add a document to an outline will result in the same menu, as any document in an outline must be added to the Chronology. When you access the Chronology, document entries appear in table form in the center of the page. To the left in each entry is the date field associated with the document. You can enter an arbitrary date or choose to use the value from an existing date metadata field from the document. Note that this date field should be intrinsic or related to the document in the larger context of the case, such as the date an email was sent. It does not refer to the date on which the document was added into the Chronology during review. That information is tracked and stored automatically by the platform. By default, each document's title is the control or Bates number. To rename a document in the Chronology, click on the current name so that it's highlighted, type in the new name, and press Enter. The document will be renamed, and the document's Bates number will now appear below the new name. To preview the document on the Chronology page, click the document's file type. You can see the date, labels, associated outlines, and bookmarked pages. You can also view and edit the annotations and labels applied to the document from the preview. If you want to make a document available for use within a StoryBuilder outline, click on the button and select from the drop-down list of existing outlines. Below the name of the document is the description field. To annotate the document with a description, or to edit an existing description, click on the field. A text box will appear, allowing you to add a free-form description of any length. To annotate the document with an explanation of relevance, or to edit an existing explanation, click on the field. You can edit the relevance field in the same way as the description field by clicking on it. Finally, to add labels to a document entry, click on the Label button. A drop-down menu of existing labels and their categories will appear. Select your desired labels from the list. You can filter the labels in the drop-down list by typing a string into the input box. To remove a label from a document entry, click on the label once. To remove a document from the chronology, hover over the appropriate entry on the table so that the trash can icon appears in the lower right. An overlay will appear over the entry to signify that the document is removed from the chronology. If you want to undo a deletion, click on the Undo button on the overlay of the appropriate document. Let's talk about the various actions you can take from the toolbar. If you want to see metadata information for the underlying document for each entry in the chronology, toggle the metadata icon on the toolbar. To change which metadata fields display, click on the caret icon by the metadata icon. Here you can select which fields to show. If you do not customize the metadata fields, a default set of metadata fields will be displayed instead. To see the documents in relation to events, sort the document entries in chronological order and toggle the Events icon in the toolbar. A new colored row will appear at the event start date. If you do not have documents that fall within a particular event's date range, this will be the only visual representation of your event in the chronology. If you have documents that do fall within an event's date range, a column will appear on the left, corresponding to the event's date range. Using this view, you can contextualize the documents in relation to the occurrence and timeframe of major events in your case. Note that the length of the event range markers is proportional to the number of documents that fall within the range, and not the duration of the event itself. The Versions button allows you to choose which version of your document to display in your chronology and associated outlines and exhibit lists. Click the caret on the Versions icon, which will open a prefix priority list. This list specifies which produced versions of your document, if available, should be displayed in the chronology. Choose your prioritized prefixes from the filter bar at the bottom and order them from highest to lowest priority. Once you click Submit, all documents referenced in your chronology will be displayed according to the prefix priority ranking you've specified. You can always access the original document prefixes by toggling the Versions icon. If you want to batch add or remove labels and dates, batch add documents to outlines, or batch remove documents from the chronology, click the Batch icon in the toolbar or space on your keyboard. By default, all documents within the current table are selected for a batch action. To only select a subset of the documents, first deselect all the documents by clicking the topmost checkbox. Then, click the checkboxes of the documents you wish to include for the batch action. Click on a label once to add or twice to remove. Once you're done selecting the combination of labels to either add or remove, click Apply. People profiles allow you to document details related to people involved in your case. When you add a new person via the People Profiles feature, it will add a new People label to your chronology. Click the People icon to access a dialog box where you can enter profile names and information. With each entry, you can specify a name, associated social media links, a profile picture, email addresses associated with the person, notes, and associated outlines. When you have updated this information, you can then add a job for that person by clicking New Job in the left-hand panel. You can enter their job role, email addresses, and organization. You can document the person's various work relationships via drop-downs of existing people from your chronology. You can also, of course, type in a new name within each of those fields. To access an outline associated with a chronology, click the Outlines icon in the toolbar. To open an outline from this view, click on its card. There are a number of options for filtering your documents in the chronology. First, you can filter by labels. Select a checkbox for the label you wish to filter by. You can add multiple labels to your filter. Filtering by multiple labels will only return documents that match all of the filtering criteria you've selected. In other words, you can think of it as an AND search filter. You can also negate a label-based filter by clicking again on the selected filter. You can also filter by the contents of the description and relevance annotations, as well as the title of the document. Enter text in the input box, and the documents will filter accordingly. If you want to expand the text filter to also include the contents, metadata, and notes of the underlying document, toggle the document icon to the left of the input box. To filter for a document in a specific date range, as determined by the Date field, click on the Date Filter icon. Sometimes the status of documents will change while you're in the chronology. Someone else might be either adding or removing documents. Some changes, such as titles and labels, will automatically be shown to you as those changes are made. However, to avoid unexpected additions or removals to your current view of chronology entries, Everlaw does not automatically apply changes that would alter the set of documents that match your current filter set. Instead, a green star will appear by the refresh icon in the toolbar, alerting you to changes. If you want to update the table to the latest results, click the refresh icon. If multiple people are working on the chronology simultaneously, different colored name badges will appear next to the share icon. To see the full name of the user, hover above the badge. To message the user from within the chronology page, click on their name badge. If another user is working on a document entry in the table, that document entry will be bordered by a colored, bolded outline corresponding to the color of their name badge. If you want to download a CSV file with information about the documents in your chronology, such as Bates number, annotations, which outlines the document is a part of, and metadata, use the Export tool found in the toolbar. A menu will appear where you can select which fields you want to include in the CSV file. By default, only the Bates number is included. Once you click the Export to CSV button, a task will start in the background to prepare and package the export. You can share from within the chronology page by clicking the Share icon in the far right. A menu will appear where you can specify which users or groups of users you would like to share the chronology with. You can write a message if you'd like, and designate the permission level you wish the recipients to have. To view existing permissions, select View or Edit Existing Permissions. Alternatively, you can share from the home page and follow the same steps as described previously. For more information on using Chronology in StoryBuilder, visit support.everlaw.com or contact us by message, email, or phone.